you joined this club. For some of us, that's a few years ago, couple of years ago. For others, that's just a couple months ago. You joined this club with a goal. Maybe it was to be a more proficient speaker. Maybe it was to become an author or a public speaker, to get a promotion. Whatever your goal was, that's why you're here. And when you joined, you got those 2 books, your CC and your CL, and you got your mentor, and you were off to the races. Did you perhaps have a goal for when you wanted to complete those books? Do you have a target? Do you have a date when you'd like to be a professional speaker? Setting a goal along with those books can help you achieve that. Can help you achieve even your DTM. Tonight we're going to talk about Easy Speak, which for many of us is just a website. And maybe we log into it sometimes when Mel nags us enough, and maybe we never do. But Easy Speak really is a tool that our club uses that's designed to help everyone meet their goals. We have a lot of new members. We have a lot of new members who'd like to give speeches. You don't have to wait for me to ask. Tonight, I'm going to teach you how to take your goals into your own hands using the Easy Speak tool that we've set up for the club. We'll talk about 4 aspects of Easy Speak. We'll get started with Easy Speak. We'll talk about picking a role if you'd like to be the timer or the grammarian. We'll talk about how to schedule a speech. And finally, we'll circle back and talk about how Easy Speak can help you track your goals. Sound like a plan? Awesome.
Sounds good.
Getting started. This is the Easy Speak homepage. It's really busy. It's got a lot of text. You don't have to read any of it. All you care about is right there. When you join this club, if you joined recently, you got an email from me that said, "Welcome to Bits and Speeches!" Here's your login. Go use it. That's where you put it in. I sent you a login and a password, so you log in. And when you log in, this is where you end up. And guess what? There's a whole lot of stuff on this page too, and you don't have to care about any of it. Except that one little spot right there that says Bits and Speeches. These bars at the top will always be here. So anytime you're in Easy Speak, you can use those to navigate. And tonight we'll focus on navigating with these and navigating with some of the buttons that'll appear down here. We'll start by just taking a look at a meeting and telling the Toastmaster whether we'll be there. Jerry, I think, appreciates it when we do that.
Yes.
Right? Up at the top, we always have this little meetings tab. If you click on that, you get this drop-down menu. The first option, calendar, will take you to, surprise, the calendar. And this calendar actually lists all of the clubs that meet in our general vicinity. But in bold there, you'll see Bits and Speeches. There we are. You can also, from this meetings menu, click on meeting on whatever date is shown. Now, if I weren't so lazy and had actually updated my slides, this would be next week's meeting. Every week this is dynamic and it will change to show the next day. You click on that, nothing happens. There we go. It takes you to a meeting. So this is our home page, if you will. It takes a couple clicks to get to it, but this is home for Bits and Speeches. Every meeting has a page with the meeting date and time. It'll tell you whether or not you've said you're attending this meeting. We have our list of club members over here, and the roles for the meeting are over here. Now remember what I said our first thing we were going to do was?
Say if we were coming or not.
say if we are coming, tell our Toastmaster. You can do that right here. There's a Y, there's an N, and there's a question mark. Yes, no, maybe. All you have to do is check the box. You can also use these nifty little thumbs up and thumbs down right here to indicate whether or not you'll be attending a meeting. Once you've decided to attend a meeting, there's two ways for roles to happen. Number one, you click the box, you say you'll be there, and you leave it at that, and the Toastmaster decides what you'll do. However, if you'd like to take charge and progress through your CL manual, you can pick which role you'd like to take. Here's how you do that. On the meeting, we have all the roles. So you see this says grammarian, humorist, listener, so on and so forth. Now if you want to take one of these roles, all you have to do is hit the thumbs up. Woo! I'd like to be the listener tonight. Once you've hit that thumbs up, your name will appear, and then you give it another thumbs up. Yes, I am sure that wasn't an accidental click. I really do want to be the listener that night. Make sense so far? Great. Now you'll notice that once you've hit that first thumbs up, a little red exclamation point appears next to your name. The red exclamation point means, hello! Hey! I'm here! Pay attention to me! Hello! Do you see me? Because you need to do something. And that's where this one comes in. If the Toastmaster assigns you a role, you will also get the red exclamation point, and then you can confirm here. Make sense? Fantastic. There's another way you can sign up for meetings if you'd like to sign up for a few at a time. Back up to our bar at the top, we have a button that says My Participation and Sign Up for Meetings. When you click on that, you get a chart of the next few meetings, and you can use the buttons here to decide which role you'd like to take. So this is for the timer, the table topics master, the grammarian, so on and so forth. So if you're really motivated and you want to get your goal and go running, you can use this to very easily select 4 roles at a time. Okay? Any questions on roles before we carry on to speeches? All right. Now some of you may have noticed I've been gone for 3 weeks. And I'll bet there's at least one person here going, I really want to give a speech, but Mel hasn't been here for 3 weeks. What do I do? You don't have to wait to talk to me. You can just put it straight in Easy Speak. It's all good. Here's how you do that. From any meeting, you will always have these bars over here. We have My Participation and Request a Speech. When you hit that nifty little Request a Speech button, you'll get this window. This window asks for your speech title, your workbook, and the dates on which you'd like to give your speech. So the first thing you fill in is the title and the introduction for the Toastmaster to read. Did you notice tonight before I spoke, Jerry told you guys that I got my DTM really fast? Jerry didn't just make that up. That was my introduction here. Next, we decide what workbook and what speech we're doing. For those of us that are past the CC manual, we have a lot of options. If you're doing your CC manual, it's a little easier because you just have the one manual. So you select workbook speech and you drop that down to select the workbook. Now if you're already working on a workbook, if you've given a speech or two, it will actually already just automatically appear down here without you having to use this drop down. Like this. And then you select, using the radio buttons here, which speech you'd like to give, and this lists all 10 speeches in the CC manual. And if you're doing an advanced manual, you would just pick that manual. Finally, when do you want to give your speech? There's some tools here to help you decide when to give your speech. This lists all the meetings that are coming up, tells you how many speakers we can have at that meeting. Sometimes it'll say 2, sometimes it'll say 3. and then shows you right here with these little yellow clocks how many speakers we already have scheduled. So you can see this meeting has 2 speaking slots and 2 speakers scheduled. So it wouldn't be a good idea to ask for a speech on that night. But this one has 1 speaker, or I'm sorry, has 3 speakers and only 1 scheduled. This would be a great night to ask for. And when you do this, you can pick your first option, your second option, and your third option. So fill all 3 in, whatever your first option is, second, and third. Particularly if you'll be missing a week, you can make your first option this week, and your second option this week, and your third option that one. Lorna?
So, okay, I just wanted to say what happened to me. I got confused on that. I thought if there were already 2 speakers, I was asking for the third. And so that I clicked the third option. That's how smart I am. I'm just intuitive on these things, you know. So just a heads up, you still, it's your first choice. It's not the third speaker slot.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. This is my first choice. I really, really, really would like to speak this night.
Yeah.
But if I can't speak this night, how about I do it this night? And if I can't do that night, then put me in over here. That's what that is. First, second, and third.
Yeah.
The preference of the meeting you would like to speak on. Thank you for clarifying. I never would have thought of it that way.
Oh no, I don't think anybody else would have either.
All right, before we move on to goals, any questions on speeches? Now I'll tell you guys a little secret before we move on. Lorna, who is not of the technology computer generation, is our most consistent Easy Speak user.
Really?
Yes. So all of the rest of us,
Who knew?
yes, the rest of us that are of the generation that grew up like this have some catching up to do with Lorna. I'm a little embarrassed. Goals. I started by talking about how our goals can be met with Easy Speak. Easy Speak has some really cool tools to help you meet your goals. And my slides are totally out of order here. I don't know what I did. Okay, there we go. From the top, we have my participation and view my speech progress. What did I do? Okay. When you hit view my speech progress, you get a screen that looks something like this. Depending on how many speeches you've given and how many speech requests you have pending, this will differ. But you'll see here, you have a list of all your upcoming speeches, if you have any scheduled, or if you have any requested. And then you have a list of all of the manuals that you're working from. So if you're on your CC, this will only show your CC. If you're like me or Beverly and like to give a speech every 2 days, it will look like this. With lots of manuals and lots of speeches checked off having been completed. Okay? So anytime if you're wondering, where am I can't find my book, an easy way to look at what you've done is right here. On this screen, you'll also notice you have a button, Communicator Goals. And right here it says New Goal. When you hit that, you get this nifty box. And you can tell it, my goal is to achieve my Competent Communicator Award, and I'd like to do that by July 1st. Now when you set these goals, I can see these as well, which means if I see that your goal is to finish your manual next month and you still need 1 speech, I will make you a priority in scheduling so that you can meet your goal, because I have the power. Also, once you've set your goals, over here, you get a little status box. And you get a red, an orange, or a green telling you, you know, you're a little behind or you're doing fantastic. You can also track your progress on your Competent Leadership Manual. And this one I know is a little hard for us to generally keep track of because there's so many pieces to it. When you take a role in a meeting, you'll notice that there's this little drop down next to it. That says CL number 8 or CL number 2. So you can actually look in your Competent Leader Manual and select whichever project you're working on that night and enter it right here for Easy Speak to track it. To check on everything you've done, again, under My Participation, we have View My CL Progress, or it's right here as well. And you'll get this nifty little screen. This guy shows all the roles you've done in green, and the ones that you have yet to complete are blank. So the bright green ones are the CL projects that are completed, and the ones that are not bright green are the ones that still have something left to do. So to finish this one, I need to do grammarian. Does that make sense? Question?
So that's only gonna show up if when you did a job, you put in the CL, like I would have put it in myself, which I didn't do on
Correct.
any of them.
Yes.
So as long as we've got our book, then we're good.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, yes. As long as you have your book, you are good. Pearl?
I didn't understand that. Who enters this, what's completed and what's not completed?
I do, at the end of the meeting. But at the end of the meeting, I know, Pearl, that you're doing an evaluation tonight. But you have 3 or 4 opportunities in the CL manual to get credit for an evaluation. Unless you fill this in, I don't know which project you're working on in the CL manual. So this guy right here is really the key to tracking your CL manual in Easy Speak. And after every meeting, I go home and I put in who was actually at the meeting and who played each role, because sometimes we do have deviations from what was planned. So after every meeting, I go home and I put everything in. Sometimes. On occasion.
Yeah, no doubt.
So that is tracking your communication and leadership goals with Easy Speak. This was one of the first things I did when I joined this club. I put in all my goals, I requested my speeches, and every week I picked a role. If you use this, follow that, you too can achieve your goals very quickly. And if you ever have any questions on how to use this, I just gave you copies of this presentation. And you can always email me or call Lorna.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Madam
I call
Chair.
now.